Hello everyone, welcome to What's Happening in Brazil. To start, we are going to take a look in the latest news from the country.
Jair Bolsonaro's government is trying to prevent the creation of a parliamentary commission of inquiry to investigate accusations of corruption in the Ministry of Education. Its strategy is to convince the government-allied senators not to sign the formal request to start the commission. Also, it is pressuring the senators that have already signed the document to retreat from supporting it. In recent weeks, there have emerged many accusations regarding the ministry. It all started with allegations that pastors with no official posts at the ministry were supposedly controlling the redistribution of funds to cities. Mayors alleged there was a bribe scheme to liberate the allocation of funds. The case resulted in the firing of the then-minister Milton Ribeiro. It also became public the accusation of over-invoicing in the purchasing of school buses. The auction was suspended before the conclusion of the purchase. Lastly, the press revealed that the government had authorized the building of more than 2,000 fake schools. The announced constructions don't have the necessary resources and would take 51 years to be concluded. Today, there are more than 3,000 unfinished schools in Brazil. Thousands of indigenous peoples protested in the city of Brasília against a bill to liberate mining in native peoples' lands. The protest, which took place on April 11th, was part of the Free Land Campaign, the largest indigenous mobilization in Brazil. The protesters brought fake gold bars to the act. In front of the Ministry of Mines and Energy, they staged using red ink to denounce the violence that arrives with mining. The illegal gold mining in indigenous lands is an old problem, but has intensified with the current federal government. In many indigenous villages, the rivers are contaminated with mercury, and the miners target the indigenous peoples in shooting attacks. The bill seeking to liberate mining may be voted at any given moment by the Chamber of Deputies. President Jair Bolsonaro supports the bill.
Behind the records in deforestation in Brazil, there are serious crimes like labor analogous to slavery and drug trafficking. That was revealed a research that analyzed more than 350 police operations in the Amazon.
The environmental devastation became big business linked to violent crimes, financial frauds, corruption, and even drug trafficking. Research by Igarapé Institute mapped this ecosystem of criminality in the legal Amazon. 369 operations that had the participation of the federal police were analyzed.
Looking at environmental crime, we realized that it needs a lot of resources to operate, including in the case of illegal gold mining. They have working equipment and the logistics to get to where the environment crimes happen. So there is a powerful structure financing these crimes. There is the crime activities group, the crime agents, and we have been seeing that because the state and the security agents pay little attention to it, this kind of crime becomes attractive to other criminal groups. And we also know, we can't forget to mention, that a very vulnerable group of people are exploited because of these activities.
According to Igarapé Institute, almost a third of the operations in the Amazon were related to violent crimes against people, slave labor, drug trafficking, or the possession of guns, ammunition, and explosives. And the frequency of these crimes is increasing. People caught red-handed with firearms, ammunition, and explosives, for instance, more than doubled between 2016 and 2021.
Often people look to environmental crimes and say, oh, come on, this is a less important crime. But what we actually have is that the seriousness of the harm and its range are going to bring consequences to the whole population. Therefore, it's a priority to place the fight against environment crimes at the top of the political agenda.
In today's Culture Talk, we are going to know the work of singer and songwriter Luísa Nobel. Born in Ceará State, Luísa found in music a place where she could confront different forms of prejudice.
Music is a refuge whether to those who listen to it or who live from it. It was on this road that singer, songwriter, and actress Luísa Nobel from Ceará State walked into the musical universe. It was precisely in music where she realized for the first time that she could be seen in a positive way, different from the fatphobic, racist, and homophobic bullying that chased her throughout her childhood and adolescence.
The first time I was on stage was at my school. One of the school's workers, a friend of mine, invited me. I sang for the first time. Then I thought, whoa, I'm on a stage here, a place where I'm wanting to be and where I know what to do. So I felt very good. From then on, I stopped having just these so-called negative characteristics to be a singer.
Queimamos a largada, como queimamos na cama. Só diga que me ama.
A black and fat female artist, as she proudly states in one of her works called Black Punk, Luísa has been in the musical scene for more than a decade. Her ways are based on experiences and related to accepting her own body, romantic relations, and thoughts on being a woman, which contributes to the richness and diversity of Ceará's music.
I think that I have been contributing a lot to Ceará's musical scene, a scene that was too white and sexist. Today there is a movement of women in music that started in 2013. It is a very powerful movement, and today we have bands formed exclusively by women and mixed groups, which even bring other genres, not only female and male.
Não seja tão ruim, se foi melhor pra você. Eu não quero saber.
Cassava starch is an ingredient born among the native peoples of Brazil and is very popular in the country. It's made from cassava manioc and can be prepared as tapioca with sweet or salty fillings. Take a look.
Have you ever tried to prepare a homemade tapioca dough instead of buying it already hydrated? That's what I'm gonna teach you. The sweet cassava starch is made with grated fresh cassava. The sour cassava starch is made from the cassava fermented while soaked in water. It is then grated. That's why it has a softly sour taste. With the sweet cassava starch, we prepare tapioca and cheese biscuits. With the sour one, we make Brazilian cheese bread. Put the sweet cassava starch and the salt in a pot with the lid and cover it with water, mixing them well. Did you see that I dissolved the cassava starch in the water, removing all the little balls formed by grains that have clustered? Now I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator, and after 2 hours the cassava starch dough and the water will be separated, being that the latest will be above the dough. Take the dough from the refrigerator. You're gonna see that all the cassava starch accumulated in the bottom of the pot and has formed a white block. The water is on the block. Throw away the water and keep the dough. The tapioca dough is here at the bottom, tough. Now I'm gonna dry the dough using a cloth I only use for this purpose. We dry it by tapping on the top without pushing it. But what if I don't want to use it now? How would I store it? I would put this cloth on top to keep the dough dry, cover it, and keep it in the refrigerator. It lasts about a week in the refrigerator. I'm gonna take a piece and sift it. The dough is ready, so I'm gonna start to prepare the tapiocas. If you're not experienced in making it, the tip is to use a non-stick skillet so the tapioca doesn't stick. Then you're gonna cover the whole bottom of the skillet with the dough. After you spread the dough on the skillet, cook it for about 1 minute. The tapioca is going to lose and you're gonna turn the dough and let it heat for 20 seconds. Then you turn it again. Add the filling of your choice, fold the tapioca and let it heat for another minute on each side at low heat to heat the filling and melt the cheese without burning it.
singer Renata Soul is from the city of Guarulhos, São Paulo state. As her artistic name suggests, her main musical influences are the black musical genres such as soul, R&B, reggae, and also our samba.
Sussurrando em meu ouvido, a vontade de ficar. Sussurrando em meu ouvido, a vontade de ficar. Saudade cai gota a gota. Saudade cai gota a gota. Eu posso ver o sol bater na pedra e passa por aqui.
Did you like the show? So hit the like button and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications. We'll see you next week.
Saudade cai